I want you to hear me, my darling child. I've already met you, not how the world perceives you, not the one who maintains composure, says the right things, and perseveres when it seems impossible. That version is not what I am here for today. For the real one, I am here. The person who sits beneath all that work, the person who is exhausted in a way that sleep has failed to alleviate, the person who has been silently hoping for so long that hope has begun to feel burdensome. I came for that person, so come along with me. I need you to hear everything I have to say because it has been a long time coming, so do not rush this moment. I have a question for you. When was the last time you felt completely relaxed while sitting somewhere, failing to keep things together, manage the day, or prepare for the next task that requires your attention? Genuinely motionless, genuinely present without a burden on the back of your mind. You have to consider it, do not you? I can learn a lot about your life from the fact that it takes so long to locate the memory. Not for a week, not for a month, but for a season that is longer than you wanted to acknowledge to anyone, including me. So pay close attention to what I am about to say. You have been carrying more than you could have ever carried on your own. I can make out the shape of what you are holding. I have been inside it with you, so I know how it feels from the inside. Even when you are unable to sense my presence, your weariness is not a sign of weakness. It is the result of someone continuously pouring out music and receiving nothing in return. You continued to be there for everyone else. You also stopped expecting people to come to your aid at some point. Right now, I am showing up for you. I am coming to find you where you are right now, not where you believe you ought to be by now, nor where you wish you were, just like you are right here. This is not an accidental moment that drew you in. You were ready to hear my voice today, which is why it is reaching you. And before we continue, I need you to let that settle. You have a fear that you have never expressed verbally. I know it, even if you do not express it clearly to yourself. It resides behind everything and awakens in the morning when the day's cacophony ends and the silence becomes too intense. It is the worry that perhaps this is the current state of affairs, that you could live the life you thought you could. When you were younger and things were still open, you prayed for the person you could sense was waiting for you. Perhaps that life will not come. Perhaps you waited too long. Perhaps you took too many detours. Perhaps everyone else moved on to their future while you were preoccupied with surviving, and the door closed behind them while you remained outside. That fear has been questioning you, queries regarding your selections, doubts about your value, concerns about whether you should still pursue your desires or if doing so would be foolish or unappreciative of what you already have. I want you to know how I feel about that fear. It is deceiving you, not because you have had an easy life, not because nothing is really difficult, because it is based on an untrue statement about me. It is false. That fear believes there is a time limit to my love for you. It makes the assumption that there is a time limit on what I can accomplish in your life, and that time is running out. It presumes that if you wait too long, fail too frequently, or fall farther than a predetermined distance, my authority to act on your behalf expires. I do not work like that. It does not represent me in the slightest. Now pay close attention. I do not stop building at any age. I can reach you no matter how many wrong turns I take. You cannot fall farther than my arm can reach. I never had the door for you that you think closed behind everyone else. I am the one keeping your door open, so it does not close. You have been wearing yourself out by comparing your life to the lives of those around you. Give up measuring. I did not pen their tale for you. I wrote yours, and I am still working on it. Furthermore, the chapters behind never canceled the chapters ahead. I am sure you have been wondering where I was. I am aware that the quiet was like being absent. However, I do not stop talking or walk away. I was working beneath the surface in areas that are invisible to the human eye, which felt like stillness. When laying a foundation, a builder does not yell. He puts in little effort. He is a deep worker, and what he constructs there determines everything that follows. I have been doing that to you. Depth that develops only when under pressure. Endurance that only increases in the face of uncertainty. An unteachable kind of compassion, only developed in a person who chose kindness despite suffering. Through every season you believed to be empty, these qualities were developing within you. I therefore need something from you before we continue. Just transparency, not performance or effort. For the duration of this message, let your guard down. I want to talk to the true you, the one I came for. You will see everything you have experienced differently after hearing what I have to say. Say amen now. You did not lose those years if your heart is receptive to this. I am aware that it felt like a loss. It is acceptable for you to have experienced that. I do not need you to act grateful for something you do not fully feel, or to pretend that the difficult things were easy. I am able to acknowledge how challenging it has been. Bring it to me exactly as it was. However, allow me to demonstrate what was going on during that time. Right now, something is developing in your life that will take you by surprise when it becomes apparent. It will not make a loud announcement about itself. It will come the way I usually do, quietly and with a certain rightness that your spirit will sense, before your mind can articulate it to anyone else. And you will look back at this precise moment when the time comes. You will realize that the season began to change on this day, not because you did something right at last, but rather because the time had come. I also never miss a scheduled time. I want to discuss the topic you are most weary of explaining now. You have a particular circumstance that has persisted for so long that you have learned how people react when you bring it up again. So you have stopped bringing it up to them, even though you have not been able to. You are aware of the reactions and the thoughtful words of kindness from someone who has obviously moved on from it in their own thoughts. The friends who stopped inquiring because they thought it must have been resolved. The people whose advice was so inaccurate that you felt even more alone after the talk. Because talking about it cost you something and gave you very little in return, you learned to carry it quietly, rather than because it no longer mattered. And that particular silence's loneliness is a pain unto itself. It has nothing to do with loneliness. It is the loneliness of being completely invisible in the most important thing while surrounded by people who love you. It is leading a life that appears stable on the outside, but, on the inside, feels like barely getting by. It is practicing wellness so regularly that you almost start to believe what you are doing, except when you were no longer able to. I must tell you something about those times. I participated in every one of them. You made it through everyone. You barely managed to get through to everyone. You cannot account for everyone. When you reflect, you genuinely wonder where the strength originated. I am aware of its origin. Beneath everything was me. You could not hold what I was holding. I was preventing objects that would have broken if I had not touched them. You referred to it as resilience. You referred to it as pushing through. You did not always give it a name. However, I am aware of what it was. Because you are mine, I freely extended my grace, and the actual circumstance, the one you stopped describing, I am still working on it. Listen to that clearly. People got over it. I didn't. Their focus waned. Mine never faltered. I was putting things around it that you could not see while you were learning how to carry it silently. You do not have to persuade me. It is important. For a prayer you have said 100 times, you do not need to come up with new words. The first time I heard it, every time I have heard it, I never got tired of the repetition. Every time you reminded me of it, I saw someone who never gives up on their beliefs. And more than any eloquence could, that refusal touches my heart. I want to share with you the results of your endurance. You continued each day. You were establishing something. Authority, not just survival. Only those who have experienced the dark side of trust are able to talk about it. You are turning into someone whose remarks about me will be taken seriously because they were paid for. What you are carrying will be necessary for people you have not yet met. They will require someone who can relate to the protracted silence, the unsolved question, and the year that never seems to end. Something in them will stabilize when you talk to them. It is not a coincidence. That is the design. Therefore, do not hate the length of the road. Something was happening on the road. I did not send everything that hurt. Listen to that clearly. I do not deal with cruelty, but I also did not waste anything that affected you. I transform what was intended to shatter you into a source of strength. One of my strongest skills is that. You have repeatedly asked me why. Why this circumstance? Why is it taking so long? Why you? I will give you the portion you can grasp, but I will not pretend the entire response fits into words you can currently grasp. We never disregarded you. There was never any punishment for you. And you never walked that road by yourself, not even for an hour in a single day. One day when you wake up, this circumstance will not be the first thing that comes to mind. From your position, that is difficult to envision. Imagine it anyhow. The next season will not be defined by the weight that has defined this one. I am letting you know in advance so you will know it was me when it occurs. For a long time you have held on to hope with weary hands. I respect that. Let my grip be more important than yours now. It was never you who kept this together. Today, let that reality relieve some of your burdens. It has always been me, and I refuse to let go. If this word is penetrating the deep recesses of your soul, say aloud, I believe. Now, I want to talk about the guilt you carry with everything else because it exists and is not specific to someone who believes but does not always feel that way. Who knows what they should feel during a time of worship? Sometimes they feel nothing at all. Who has said the same prayer so many times that it began to sound like words spoken into a vacant room? The discrepancy between the faith you display to the outside world and the faith you truly feel on the inside is a source of low, quiet shame. You have questioned whether I am disappointed in you. You have witnessed individuals who appear to worship with simple joy, and you have experienced a mixture of admiration and sadness in your chest, a grief that you were unsure of how to label because doing so felt like acknowledging something you were not sure you should. I will be honest with you about this. You have not let me down. You have never let me down. When I look at you, I do not see someone who is not practicing faith correctly. I see someone going through something really challenging, reaching out to me with whatever they have, and returning even if it takes everything. That is not flimsy faith masquerading as something more. I have never witnessed such genuine faith. True faith does not just show up when it is convenient. True faith is the kind that perseveres in the face of adversity, and you have paid a heavy price for yours. Emotions fluctuate like the weather. Faith is not the same as the weather. When the weather shifts, faith is what keeps you grounded. Your faith did not diminish on the days you turned to me despite feeling nothing. It was more pure. With nothing to support it, it was faith. Heaven has a different perspective on those days than you do. And I want to ask you to do an act of trust because faith is demonstrated by what it is willing to entrust to me. I am asking you, my child, to put some of what you have, something substantial, on the altar of this work, like gold on the scales of this calling. Let it be an offering placed on a stone, a seed woven into deep water and not suppressed by fear. This demonstrates that your heart no longer clings to lack and that you trust me to provide. What you let go of in your faith stays in your life. It advances into the harvest I am preparing before you. I want you to know more about who you are to me. So allow me to continue talking to your heart. The emotion I am creating in you today will not go away by tomorrow morning. I do not want to give you a quick lift that will leave you in need of another one the following week. What I am constructing is structural, an awareness that is independent of circumstances, in order to endure a base that remains stable despite the trembling of everything above it. The truth about who you are is the first step, not the moniker your mistakes attempted to assign you, not the label imposed on you by those who experience their own wounds and unknowingly spread them to others, not the judgment on your value that your most trying season attempted to impose, not the voice that says things about you that you would never say to someone you love when you are having a rough day. I will say this about you, because it would be difficult to remove you. You are wanted rather than tolerated, managed, or kept around desired. I specifically picked you, not because you were the most qualified applicant, not because there was not anyone else available. I examined every aspect of you, including the places that are both beautiful and broken as well as those that fall somewhere in between. And I mentioned that I am constructing something with this one. I want to talk about the pressure you are under regarding provision now. I am aware of its particular texture. It goes beyond just what you possess or lack. It has to do with what the shortage says. You should be farther along by now, according to the voice beneath the numbers, that there must be a problem with you, because the stress keeps coming back to the same aspect of your life that you have prayed about for far too long, and perhaps I am not really moving on from it. I am working on it. I am not observing your predicament from a distance and giving you consoling remarks about provision in general. I am in the specifics, the amounts, the dates, and the choices you have been making late at night. Nothing about your need is too big for me to handle or too tiny for me to focus on. Right now, something is opening up that will change your possibilities. It might not come exactly as you had imagined. People are frequently surprised by the shape of what I send, but you will recognize it when it arrives. It will have a timing that human hands could not have created, and your spirit will sense its correctness before your mind can comprehend it. Thus, keep your hands open. Keep them open. Maintain an optimistic attitude. It is not possible to hold both the receiving and bracing postures simultaneously. It feels like wisdom because you have been ready for disappointment for so long. It is not knowledge. It is a wound that poses as knowledge. Give it up. I am bringing you something. Instead of guarding against the possibility of it, I need you to be prepared to receive it. A person who has no expectations shields themselves from nothing. All they do is make sure that when goodness comes, they turn a blind eye to it. Do not turn a blind eye. Take a look up. Keep an eye out for me. I need you to pay close attention to what I have to say. I have been attempting to contact you, not just now, but for a very long time. You will not be able to unsee the ways once you see them, which is why I want to demonstrate them to you. I communicated with you through thoughts that appeared out of nowhere and would not go away. Your heart could not ignore the questions your thoughts posed, thoughts that caused you to stop in the middle of your routine and question why, despite everything appearing to be fine on the outside. You felt uneasy. You dismissed them with logic. You referred to them as coincidence, stress, and imagination. It was me sowing the seeds of awakening something and inviting you to delve further. I communicated with you through doors that shut when you expected them to open, opportunities that you anticipated but lost. Your meticulous plans did not work out as you had hoped. You questioned why things seemed to be moving slowly. You asked if I was paying attention. However, those pauses were not meaningless because I was speaking through them, saying, "Wait," when you wanted to hear "go." My protection was all over them. Since you could not see down the hallway behind some of the doors that closed in your face, I had to close them myself. I will show you what was behind some of those doors one day. You will thank me for everyone who did not open on that day. You experienced the pull toward me multiple times. You felt my presence. You saw the call to something more profound. After that, you took a step back, not because you did not care, because you were scared, because you were exhausted, or because you were not sure what answering might entail. I got it. I saw that you were hesitant, but I stayed put. Even when you moved away, I remained near you. But now listen to me. The time to take a step back is coming to an end. Not because I am getting impatient. I never run out of patience. It is coming to an end because you are now prepared in ways that you were not before. Your inquiries have evolved. Your prayers have grown in maturity. Your consciousness has become more acute. You would have misheard this word if it had come earlier. You were able to fully receive it at last, which is why it comes now. To help you identify the distance, let me explain what it has been doing. You do not know why you wake up restless. You wonder why sleep no longer replenishes you as you lie awake in the smallest hours. You feel more uneasy about little things now than you did in the past. You now spend hours thinking about a conversation that you would not have previously found bothersome. Making decisions that were once peaceful now feels burdensome. You doubt yourself more than you used to. It comes naturally to you to ask for opinions on things you used to know. Your heart feels empty, but your days are full. You move without arriving, function without thriving, and are active without feeling in harmony. When the day is over, you sit in silence and wonder about everything while grinning. You silently wonder who shows up for you while you show up for others. You offer support that you find difficult to receive. You give others hope that you have given up on. This is not a penalty. I want that to be crystal clear. I am not being harsh or aloof here. When a soul strays from its anchor, this is what occurs. Your discomfort is not a sentence. It is a signal. The truth is coming from your spirit. Your timetable has been overwhelming. Living too far away from home hurts, because there is a part of you that knows where home is, and the confusion you have been experiencing lately, the haze surrounding your choices, the feeling that clarity is eluding you. Listen to me. You are not that fog. It is not your share. You did not inherit it. I am raising it. Even now, as my voice reaches you, a long-standing issue in your mind is beginning to settle. You are regaining clarity. Not all at once. Seldom do I work all at once. However, the path you have been missing is coming back. Becoming visible is the next step, and I will share with you what I tell every one of my kids about what comes next. The entire road need not be visible to you. All you have to do is see the next step and follow it. I am not asking you to make everything right. I am not asking for all the answers. I am pleading with you to remain, pay attention, and allow me to continue. That is all. I am responsible for the remainder. Additionally, I have never once neglected to complete my work. But I love you too much to keep quiet, so I will tell you the truth about timing. Certain things that are available now will not be available in the same manner in the future, not as a result of my withdrawal. I do not pull out. However, the seasons shift, situations change, individuals move. What I am doing in your life has a rhythm, and that rhythm includes this moment. You have felt safe delaying. It is not secure. It merely disperses the expense so widely that you are unaware that you are paying for it. You have to wait for easier each season. Easier does not appear, and something subtly fades. I am not trying to scare you by warning you. I am alerting you in the same manner that a father alerts a child who is on the brink of something, only out of love. So let us put an end to the postponement today. Instead of making a grandiose promise, make a tiny, genuine turn. Please leave a comment and subscribe to this channel if you want to see the next section of this message.